Inna. Sabalenka had a backhand lined up and she missed it, which causes a match point for Swiatek. But yeah, Swiatek does remind me of Justine Inna. Sometimes if I'm like looking too quickly, I can kind of see them because I was a Justine Inna appreciator, not a fan, but I appreciated what she brought to the court.
No, I'm honestly laughing at the reaction after this win. That was some bottled up emotion.
I haven't seen it
Wow.
yet. Does she do? Is it a big Yazda? Oh, that
Oof,
was a.
I don't know. I don't know if it was a
Oh,
Yazda, but
yeah, she did let it out,
yeah,
and that was a terrible return from Sabalenka at the end of the
it
match.
was
But yeah,
massive.
that was a great match from Swiatek. I mean, one of the
Yeah.
best I've seen her play. I mean, I know she won Beijing just a couple weeks ago. I didn't watch too much of that, so she may have looked even sharper. But since the U.S. Open, that's the best I've seen her play for sure.
Yeah, Beijing was like her best tournament of the year, I think, for me.
Mm,
It could
okay.
be a bit controversial with Doha, but at the same time, WTA finals, yeah, this match was absolutely fantastic. Just
Yeah, that was great.
so sharp. Yeah, didn't really go out of her way, I guess, and just played what was required of her on the day, which actually is a compliment from me, because that's something that she kind of struggled with.
Well, if you're listening to the sound of me and Damien, I don't think I've actually said my name on this entire stream. My name is, if it hasn't shown in like the actual text, my name is Miles, and you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram and socials at Tuned Into Tennis, not to be confused with Talking Tennis, which you should be subscribed to. But if you're interested in how like my thoughts and opinions and stuff in tennis work, make sure to follow me on socials at Tuned Into Tennis. And we're about to get tuned into some more insight from another tennis analyst that I really appreciate insight from. Ghosty said,
Hey,
yes, it's Miles, Mr. David, if you're nasty. Hey, Bunch.
hey guys, how's it going?
Hey Vanch, we just watched a pretty good match.
That
Was
was a good match.
what an amazing performance from start to
Yeah,
finish. Really, just she was just so dialed in. Really, from 1-2 all the moment they stepped on the court, and you just got a sense that Swiatek was the more comfortable player. Certainly, the conditions finally allowed for some really good tennis. Actually,
Yeah.
at times, even though the scoreline was 6-3, 6-2, there were obviously some tight games in the early part of the second set. And I thought just the intent right from the start, the footwork, the spacing that Swiatek had on her forehand, especially the way she was able to repeatedly serve to the Sabalenka forehand, and Sabalenka just didn't quite have the answers a lot of the times. Missed several returns on that wing, just couldn't really control that side in rallies as well. So I thought that was a big sort of pattern. The way Swiatek was just able to move the ball around the court, set up forehands of her own, and really just kind of dictate. And Sabalenka wants to be the one playing the type of front foot tennis and pushing Swiatek around. But she was just getting everything back first and foremost, and turning defense into offense brilliantly, and then just absolutely crushing forehands and backhands. I think I saw a stat on Tennis Channel that she was hitting her forehand on average 5 miles per hour faster than Arena, and about 3 miles per hour more on the backhand as well. So she really up those MPHs, and obviously with the top spin that she has, it was just too much for
She
Arena.
was putting a lot of pressure on Sabalenka. Sabalenka had to do a lot of running behind that Cancun sign, which is not
Yeah,
where she's going to make her living. But yeah, that was an excellent performance by Iga. I think she makes a case for obviously player of the year, especially if she wins the WTA finals, and obviously again more than deserving of the year in ranking if she lifts that trophy tomorrow. So yeah, that was a great performance.
yeah. And obviously it's not done yet. I mean, she still has to win the final against Pagula, and Pagula has looked great so far. And I think these were by far the two best players this whole week. Really, like uh, the two players that were the most prepared for these conditions in terms of how calm they were and just how they
Mhm.
handled the wind and the rain, and just the way they've been returning as well. And it's just it's fitting that we have this as a final.
They've been steady in the midst of some crazy chaos in Cancun.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm glad that at least the matches were able to finish today. I mean, we still have the finals of doubles right after this, and then
Oh yeah, that's crazy. Well, it's only like a little bit before 6:30 local time, so that's not terrible, I guess.
yeah, um, looks like Pagula and Goff are not, didn't get to the playoffs.
No,
So that would be good for Pagula that she doesn't have to worry about more matches and more tennis, basically,
right.
with the amount that she's played this year, and also with the more time, I guess, to rest. But I think
Why don't they? Oh wait, yeah, they're pushing the championship match for doubles tomorrow. They're making it a doubleheader
okay,
tomorrow.
yeah,
Yeah,
that I think makes more sense.
yeah, a lot more sense than putting it on right now. Yeah,
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad they're doing that. Uh,
I think it's going to be at 1:30 local time tomorrow, or 12:30 local time tomorrow. I think, 'cause I think it's at 1:30 Eastern on Tennis Channel, which is 12:30 Cancun time.
Great, yeah, that's good. But
So if
yeah,
you were Pagula, how would you go about stopping Iga from one more title this year? And you're the same Pagula that's beaten her twice this year on hard court. So how would you make it 3 wins this year?
yeah, I think that should give her a lot of confidence. The fact that both of her wins, came in hard court. I mean, she'd probably want to forget about the Doha match where she didn't really have much of a chance. That was really the other hard court tournament where Swiatek was looking this dominant. But I think she's got to honestly not overthink it. I think she just has to play within herself. Um, you know, keep returning the way she has. I like the move from her to like step in and crush second serve returns. And I think she'll be a bit more prepared tactically than Sabalenka was. She'll know, she's one of the best returners on the WTA, and she's going to be prepared to absolutely crush second serves. I think she's going to be also prepared to slice, throw in some change ups as well from the back of the court because of her. I think she moves the ball around the court extremely well. She's been dealing with pace exceptionally well as well. It's going to be interesting to see how does she deal with the different heights and spins that Iga can throw at her in the baseline rallies. But honestly, I think she just has to take her chances, play just super attacking right from any second serve or any shorter ball that Swiatek really gives her, and just pounce early in rallies and not let Iga's speed kind of take over the match, speed and athleticism, and just play on her terms.
Her
So
return positioning, Pagula, her return positioning, I remember distinctly against Sabalenka in their group stage match was really aggressive. So it'll be interesting to see if she kind of takes that into the match with Swiatek, especially if she gets a second serve like Swiatek can do, like with the rolling top spin second serve that she usually uses. It'll be interesting to see if Pagula can take advantage of that. I'm looking forward to the matchup. Now that I've like seen Swiatek play great tennis and seen Pagula play great tennis this week, and knowing Pagula is like 9-0 in Mexico with the Guadalajara title last year. Yeah, it's just going to be an interesting match for the last match of the WTA season. It's been a long one, a long and interesting one.
it has, yeah, it's been long and eventful, I guess. And yeah, John is asking where does this leave Sabalenka? I'm kind of wondering now if Sabalenka should have played one of those, played one more tournament before Beijing, maybe just for points.
Mm,
Who cares about the year number one?
Honestly,
It's
yeah,
more important to get to number one in the first place than
you think so?
to get the year number one. Yeah, of course.
I mean, I think year on number one is big in the sense like you were the best player that whole season, and shows a certain level of consistency to where, I think it's bigger to finish the year number one than
I just
just.
think it depends on what you know. Like if you're in the know in tennis, I'll say this: if Sabalenka would have won this match and would have ended the season as number one, I don't think for me it would have been fair to say that she was cut and dry the best player of the year. And I don't think her
Yeah.
finishing the season at number one would have just made that a finite discussion, to me at least. But she has played the best tennis she's ever played in her career. It would have been nice to have that, but I'm not sure where this loss to
Like
Swiatek
it's not worth killing
puts her.
yourself for.
Yeah,
I agree with
unless
that.
it's unless it's something like unless Sabalenka had never been I'll put it like this: unless Sabalenka had been world number one a couple different times, but had never been in a position to finish as world number one, then maybe I could see why she would kind of add some things to her calendar to kind of get that specific distinction. But you know, the 2023 is still going to be looked at as a season where she ticked off two boxes, which is getting to world number one and winning a major. So I don't think she should be too disappointed. I wouldn't be.
So someone asked me just a day or two ago on Twitter, like, why doesn't Swiatek play a WTA 125 after the WTA finals to get to year number one? And I was just
That
like,
would be too much.
yeah, no,
But I was just thinking like
it's
Tokyo
just not
because
that important, you know?
I guess because Swiatek played Tokyo and Beijing, and it wasn't a situation where Sabalenka had an overwhelming lead in the points. So I thought if
Yeah.
she had played the same schedule as Iga, maybe things could have maybe she could have increased the margin a little bit. But I think she can be
What
proud of the
for?
consistency in terms of
But
like
Sabalenka also went deeper in that U.S. Open, so she probably
that's a good
needed a
point.
little
Yeah,
bit of more time to
yeah,
kind of just
Yeah,
reset
yeah.
before
I think
going
she
to
deserves
Asia.
some time off, especially
yeah.
Yeah.
after. But also, how heartbreaking that final must have also been for her.
Like,
So,
I'm not gonna look at this as like a regret for Sabalenka because I just don't think it matters. Like,
yeah,
really.
fair. I think she can be proud of the consistency she had at the big events, like getting to all four semifinals and getting to the semis of the
Hmm.
WTA finals. I mean, that hasn't been done on the
Yeah.
WTA since Justine Henin in 2006. So it's been 17 years.
And it's quite an achievement because I mean, I distinctly remember a time where the MO about Sabalenka was that she's good on tour, she can win Doha, she can win Dubai, or she can win like Wuhan and Beijing, but she can't
Yeah.
make it to the second week of a slam. And she made it to
Yeah.
the second week and better of all the slams this year and won one. So
Yeah.
that's a hell of a step in the right direction for Sabalenka, I think. And getting to world number one, I think she should be very proud.
Mhm. What did you think
And
about her
so should
level?
Pagula too, actually. What do I think about what?
What did you think about Sabalenka? Like, what could she have done a little bit differently in this match?
I was saying earlier to Damien that it didn't seem like she was all too invested in putting out like positive emotion. Like, because there were a couple of points there where like she played good tennis, and I guess maybe because she was always on the or mostly always on the back foot against Swiatek, but it was almost like she was too focused on being calm instead of letting some of that good energy out in some really well played points. So maybe that could have helped. Definitely better serving could have helped because for the first half of the match, she wasn't really going for her first serve until she really got like kind of down in that second set and really tried to put some more miles per hours on it. That should have been the plan from the get go. But
Hmm.
yeah, she just didn't look sharp. And Swiatek was playing some of the sharpest tennis that she's played all week, if not the second half of the season. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I did feel like that as well. That she was just sort of tame and going through the motions rather than actually, investing herself in the
mhm.
match. Maybe it just tells you that there was more tension on it, and that Świątek handled that better. I mean, Świątek definitely had a lot of it bottled up in herself as well. I mean, we saw that reaction when she won, right? But it was like it motivated her. Whereas
Mhm.
for Sabalenka, it just seemed like she was just sort of she was there on the court, but she didn't really feel like herself, I guess, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Which of course, these things we can only really speculate on them, but in terms of tactical aware, in terms of tactics, I think that sort of comes in second here. I feel like it was just more important that Sabalenka sort of was overrun by Świątek and didn't really reply.
Yeah. She certainly looked like she was playing a little bit better at the start of the second set. There was that really long game in the third game, I think, where they had like four or five deuces, and she there was this one exchange where there was just exchanging these forehand cross courts, and then Sabalenka just ripped one down the line, really deep and heavy with a lot of pace, and Swiatek just barely got her racket on it and managed to throw a backhand lob and just reset the point. And I mean, if Sabalenka wins that game and somehow holds on there, maybe she could have got something something positive to kind of build on in the match as far as scoreboard pressure. But she was kind of playing from behind the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, it does have like a bit of a sour taste to it that this match was not competitive. one player just truly stepped up,
Yeah.
and the other wasn't ready for it. It just seems.
It wasn't a whitewashing though. It wasn't like I've seen Swiatek play even better, which is kind of scary. And yeah, 6'3", 6'2" in like what, an hour and 15, hour 20, something like that.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's
It could have
maybe
the build up to the match and how the
yeah,
actual match went didn't really go
and
hand
that
in
there
hand
was
for
just
sure.
no drama whatsoever about it.
Just a
Like,
little bit, just a little bit.
yeah, almost no drama. There was no like momentum shifts. Even when Świątek played in Stuttgart against Sabalenka, and actually had less, well, only saved one breakpoint there. I think only needed to save one breakpoint, and here she had two. Yeah, there was simply a moment in this match. Let's say, I don't know, it was maybe at 6-3, maybe the break in the second set, where we just sort of started talking as if Świątek has already won.
Yeah.
It felt
And
inevitable, yeah.
that
It definitely
wouldn't
felt
really
inevitable.
happen in Stuttgart. That wouldn't really happen in Stuttgart, even though she only had to save one breakpoint there, and she won pretty comprehensively as well. I feel like every single game you were sort of looking at Sabalenka as a potential, comeback. Maybe this is where she pushes Świątek. Maybe this is where we get some moments of drama. Here it just never really had that feel to it, and I think it was mostly because Sabalenka was sort of overwhelmed by whatever. I don't know if it was the occasion, if it was the year end number one, if it was the fact that she was playing one of her biggest rivals in such an important match. I don't know, but yeah, one player today was not quite fully herself, was not quite the brave and bold Sabalenka that we know, and just this against that version of Świątek. And also, what I said earlier, I think Funch probably wasn't there yet. So there was this. Well, I basically mentioned that in Beijing, Świątek sort of started playing the opponent, the match, the whatever is happening on the day. She is reacting, adapting, adjusting to it, and that was also a good example of that. Like she went for pretty big targets. When she got in control of the point, she was just outmaneuvering Sabalenka, not necessarily trying to out hit her, which I think in some of these earlier matches, like the Madrid final, it was probably more of a we're just trading blows, and eventually Sabalenka wins in free. Here, she just plays a much smarter, much more. I think you used the phrase within herself when it came to Pegula, but I think Świątek played very within herself today, and yeah, that's really good. I've enjoyed that as a standalone individual great performance. It's a shame it wasn't a competitive match.
I think they'll just put this one under the YouTube highlights or like in the content booth of what we were saying earlier. Iga Swiatek goes God mode.
Or maybe the day when Iga Świątek won the year end number one. I know
Yeah,
it wouldn't
something really
technically be
dramatic.
right, but if she beats Pegula somewhat comfortably, then you could, sort of say that this is the moment.
The day that Swiatek proved that she's the best player in the world, something like that.
The day that Świątek won the best player of 2023 award.
She probably will actually. I mean,
If she wins
if
the
she wins,
WTA finals, I think she definitely will. Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
I don't know if that's
yeah, that'll
actually
be
right. Like,
7.
I think it's very arguable, but I think she definitely will. Yeah.
I would vote for her. Like, I think that would mean she's won 7 titles this year. So we're talking Doha, Stuttgart,
Six, I
Roland
think. Yeah.
Garros,
6.
Yeah.
Warsaw, Beijing. No, I think it's 7. Stuttgart or Doha, Stuttgart, Roland Garros, Warsaw, Beijing, and then WTA finals. That would be 7. Wait, 6. Sorry.
Six.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, Miles. I'm sure there's an English teacher or a math teacher looking at me and
No,
just
but
shaking
that's
their head.
no. She has 7 this year, right?
No,
Yeah.
no, no. It's
Am I
6.
missing something? It's
I'm
6. Yeah,
pretty
it's
sure it's
6.
6. Yeah.
Really? I mean, she doesn't
Yes.
have 7, of course, and she doesn't have 6 yet. But then,
Yeah.
but fair. Never
Two
mind.
500s, 1,000.
Pagula wants to stop all of that. Pagula wants to put all of that to the
Yeah,
side.
because she didn't have 10. She didn't have 10. She had 11 before the start of this year, right? That's my confusion. Yeah, because it's 17th that she's going for here, Never mind. I mean, anyway, yeah, that's a bit of an argument. Yeah, I agree.
Kind of
So
cool
that
though
she
that
just
she would
has
have
a lot
won
more
a title at
titles.
every level, basically from a 250 to a slam.
Yeah.
So
Now she has to play that WTA 125 that that one guy in my Twitter comments was like very desperate for.
do you think
Why?
Montevideo or
it was
whatever
kind of
is
an
coming. Uże.
advantageous position, the fact that she lost the number one, and kind of mentally she's like the chaser again
Mm.
and trying to get back in that position, like that's obviously a less pressure type zone for her to
I
be
think it
in.
did help her, like in that moment. I don't know if it's still helping her now. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I can see the argument for both sides, but I think in that moment it did sort of help her. Yeah, she was able to relax a little bit more.
In thinking even broader term, if she finishes the year world number one, that sets her up for a pretty good first month of the season because she only made it to the fourth round of Australia, where Sabalenka won the event. So they'd be defending a very different amount of points. So
Yeah, but if the conditions are like they were in Australia last year, yeah, then I don't know. It can only take like someone like I don't know, Ostapenko in the fourth round, and
mm.
then you're kind of done again. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Ghosty says Iga sucks at the Australian Open. It
But how
didn't
do
used to be like that.
but how did we get there? She's made the fourth round twice and a semifinal. Does
Yeah,
that qualify as
exactly.
sucks?
Yeah, and also the Rybakina in the fourth round was a little like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we all knew Rybakina was playing like a top 10, top 5 player at the time. So
She was a couple of months
uh,
removed from Wimbledon, so
not yet, probably.
yeah, I wasn't convinced about Rybakina being a serious like contender until she made that final of Australia. Like I know she was a good player, but like we personally I've seen far too often that a player that's ranked in that like 30 to 20 range sometimes win a grand slam and it just becomes all too much for them and their level of play goes very far from the kind of level that let them win that championship. But Rebecca proved a lot to me by getting to that final in Australia because she kind of reminded everybody, like, hey, like I've won a slam, and I can do it again if I put the right things on together in the court. So
Yeah, and basically what all I was trying to say is that in that fourth round against Rybakina at the Australian Open, I was like 100% convinced that Swiatek is not winning this match, and she kind of had no chance, like literally had no chance with the sort of tennis that they were playing that part of the season. And yeah, I just wonder who could be the Rybakina of 2024. But if she manages to avoid someone like that, she's certainly capable of going very deep at the Australian Open. Who will be the Vondroushova of the Australian Open? So like an unexpected. Okay, I was thinking of Vondroushova's performance
Sorana
at the Australian
Cristina.
Open. So that's
well,
that's a cool one. I would love to see it. Maybe like it's just a bit too late for that. I think. But
Katie Bolter.
no.
Sorry,
Just
Katie Bolter. Sorry, I just saw your name in the rankings.
Keen Venženk. Is Nurlan in the chat?
maybe
Because he's again gonna tell me that I have a crush on Keen Venženk if I just start screaming
maybe
her
Mira
name.
Andreeva.
Yeah.
Oh, fair.
Or I mean, I don't know if she quite fits the bill, but Sophia Kenin knows a thing or two about Australia. So and she's back up in the top 35.
Yeah, or
Martina
another
Trevisan has a
like
real
Taipei.
shot, apparently, guys, in 2024. What look
Alleged
like Pfizer
allegedly.
or Moderna or what?
That was a good one, Damien. Well, I think we've talked up the final tomorrow and kind of
I missed
also
what Damien said. What did he say?
he Ghosty said that he thinks Martina Trevisan has a shot in 2024 and Damien said Pfizer or Moderna.
Explaining jokes, but yeah, I'm proud of that one. I'm proud of that one.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Good, yeah.
Vansh, you were also about to say something, and then I just sort of liked my joke enough that I had to cut you off.
No, you're the part. As soon as you said Moderna, you were saying Moderna, and then you just cut off. So
It
Okay.
probably was
No,
my
but
laugh.
you
Sorry.
wanted to say something earlier, but I don't think we heard you. But
oh no, I think
okay.
that was about it. Yeah.
I think we've watched a really good performance from Swiatek. We've looked ahead to their the final of the WTA finals tomorrow, We've kind of done some what does this all mean conversation, and I'm excited for play tomorrow. I really am. I think it's going to be a good cap to a very interesting WTA season. Hopefully, it can save the mess that has been Cancun, because I think the forecast and weather is pretty clear for tomorrow. Knock on wood, as I knock literally on this wooden desk I'm on. Yeah, the forecast doesn't have any rain in it tomorrow, so hopefully it's a good match. People come out and support it. And if you're watching this, you tune back into our commentary at Talking Tennis to watch along throughout the match and see who's going to be the WTA Finals champion. See, I did that. And if you're also watching this and haven't subscribed or liked the video, feel free to do so, because it is free to do so.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's it, guys. Are we going to close off our stream with some words from our producer? I think
Our producer isn't here, so
yeah,
He's
think
on
we'll
his way to
just do it.
Seville, so make sure you tune in
okay.
for that.
I think we'll just do it manually. Do I have to do it? I guess I have to do it, right?
I think you have the privileges, but this has been fun,
yeah.
guys. Make sure to follow me, Miles David, Vanch, and Damien on all of our socials. And yeah, watch the WTA Finals once again tomorrow. It should be fun.
Yeah, see you guys.
Bye.
Have a good one. See ya.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.